Hello and welcome to the History Kid Nate channel. Today we will be talking about the Korean War. The Korean War, which was a conflict between the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which was North Korea, and the Republic of Korea, which was also South Korea, in which at least 2.5 million persons lost their lives. The war reached international proportions in June 1950, when North Korea, supplied and advised by the Soviet Union, invaded the South. The United Nations, with the United States as the principal participant, joined the war on the side of the South Koreans, and the People's Republic of China came to North Korea's aid. After more than 1 million combat casualties had been suffered on both sides, the fighting ended in July 1953, with Korea still divided into two hostile states. Negotiations in 1954 produced no further agreement, and the front line has been accepted ever since as the de facto boundary between North and South Korea. Guys, I do not know how to pronounce these words. Please help. The Korean War had its immediate origins in the collapse of the Japanese Empire at the end of World War II in September 1945. Unlike China, Manchuria, and the former Western colonies seized by Japan in 1941 and 42, Korea, annexed to Japan since 1910, did not have a native government or colonial regime waiting to return after hostilities ceased. Most claimants to power were harried. I don't know what this is. Exiles in China, Manchuria, Japan, the USSR, and the United States. They fell into two broad categories. The first was made up of committed Marxist revolutionaries who had fought the Japanese. Please help. As part of the Chinese-dominated guerrilla armies in Manchuria and China. One of these exiles was a minor but successful guerrilla leader named Kim Il-sung, who had received some training in Russia and had been made a major in the Soviet army. The other Korean nationalist movement, known as Revolutionary, drew its inspiration from the best science, education, and industrialism in Europe, Japan, and America. These ultra-nationalists were split into rival factions, one of which centered on Syngman Rhee, educated in the United States, and at one time the president of a dissident Korean provisional government in exile. In their hurried effort to disarm the Japanese army and repatriate the Japanese population in Korea, estimated at 700,000, the United States and the Soviet Union agreed in August 1945 to divide the country for administrative purposes at the 38th parallel. I don't know how to pronounce this. Latitude 38 north, I think. At least from the American perspective, this geographic division was a temporary expedient. However, the Soviets began a short-lived reign of terror in northern Korea that quickly politicized the division by driving thousands of refugees south. The two sides could not agree on a formula that would produce a unified Korea, and in 1947, U.S. President Harry S. Truman persuaded the United Nations to assume responsibility for the country. The U.S. military remained nominally in control of the South until 1948. Both the South Korean National Police and the Constabulary doubled in size, providing a southern security force of about 80,000 by 1947. In the meantime, Kim Il-sung strengthened his control over the Communist Party, as well as the northern administrative structure and military forces. In 1948, the North Korean military and police numbered about 100,000, reinforced by a group of southern Korean guerrillas based at Haeju in Western Korea. The main belligerents were South Korea and North Korea, with support to both of them, which were the United Nations, United States, China, and the Soviet Union. Common support for them was for the United Nations and the United States was United Kingdom, Canada, Turkey, Australia, Philippines, New Zealand, Thailand, Ethiopia, Greece, France, Colombia, Belgium, South Africa, Netherlands, Luxembourg, and the medical support was Italy, West Germany, India, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and other support was Israel, Taiwan, Japan, Pakistan, Uruguay, Cuba, El Salvador, and Spain. The belligerents on North Korea's side were China, Soviet, and the Soviet Union, supported by Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Mongolia, Poland, and Romania. Allied commanders and leaders were Syngman Rhee, Chung Il-kwon, Paik Supia, Sun Yup, Lee Hyun-gwen, Shin Sung-mo, Choi Lee, Dag Hammarskjöld, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, George C. Marshall, Robert A. Lovett, Douglas MacArthur, Matthew Ridgway, Mark W. Clark, Clement Attlee, and Winston Churchill. The leaders on the North Korean, Chinese, and Soviet Union side was Kim Il Sung, Kim Chu Bong, Park Hon Yook, Chim Leong Gon, Chim Chaek, Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, Pen Duhai, Chen Gen, Deng Hua, Hong Zui, Song Silon, Han Jianchu, Joseph Stalin, and Pavel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine with me. I would just really appreciate if you did, but yeah, that's all. Bye, here's my outro.